Now to look at matters arising from the International Youth Day 2017 is Bishop Amakri, who is national chairman of the Young Progressives Party.
Can say that again.
No longer the Young Democratic Party.
Oh yes, of course, sometimes when you don't agree or believe in some kind of ideologies, you move ahead to find, where it suits you better. And some of us believe that we should furthermore our career and go to form the Young Progressive Party.
So how would you say that, young people are looking at, how are they taking their future into their hands?
Well, this is quite impressive. I think first by commending the United Nations for taking such kind of bold step, believing that youth have a lot to offer in the society. And in 1999, when they met December 17th, and took that decision and endorsed that there should be, your International Youth Day. By 2000, it came into fusion. And thereafter, every August 12th is said to be celebrated. And I think it's an avenue, to give youth more awareness. And this is a welcome call, I think, for all youths. There is no way a society, can develop without a peaceful environment. And sometimes the youth play a key role. And I think it's very imperative that we let our young people know that they should begin to take ample opportunities, like, indicating interest to be part of governance, indicating interest to be part of politics, and so many other things that are viable, to, make impact in the lives of the people.
Well, we'll come to politics, and I know that's your forte, but, looking at the average, the challenge facing the average Nigerian youth today, first of all, they want to be able to get an education, be technical education, or oftentimes they want formal education. They struggle to go through those years of school, and then eventually they come out, and then there's very little for them to do. I mean, we have a huge unemployment challenge on our hands. When you look at these challenges, would you say that the average Nigerian youth is actually ready to go into political, and governance issues?
You see, it's actually the situation we found ourselves. We have a society that I would call the parents not wanting any of their child to surpass their achievement. And by the time
is that really?
Yes.
Is that a fair accusation?
It's honestly speaking, because when you look at the present circumstance, we continue to see a recirculatory system where people go away and return back, and continuously we continue to see a system of the usual faces we see.
That is in political governance, right?
Yes, in political governance. And of course, look, you see, it's very important that we have an enabling environment. Any government that does not provide an enabling environment, of course, youths are vulnerable. Once you render your youth vulnerable, they will engage in, because they are desperate. So many people are desperate. And honestly speaking, it's because of a failed system. There is no kind of orientation. We don't go through some kind of positive orientational program that will, equip our young people, even right from the schools, like you made mention.
I could see your point when you talk about it in terms when you say parents don't want their children to do better than them. Some people would say that perhaps what you're referring to is some sort of No,
I'm going through the political angle.
Exactly.
I'm going through the political
angle. Because some people will say that it's extremely unusual,
yeah.
If that is what is happening in the political sphere, because parents ideally would want their children to do better than them.
Yes, that is in our homes.
Yes.
I know that my father is happy today, if he were to be alive, that I am climaxing to certain points in life. But I'm talking about the political angle, which is just the ample truth.
Okay, but that's what I'm asking you, that looking at the challenge that is even facing the average Nigerian person, do you think that political agitations is their concern for now? To the average Nigerian youth, don't you think that what they will want, for instance, is to be able to go through school successfully and get a job at the end of the day?
Yes, those are the basic amenities that everybody is yearning for. But the leaders, I'm saying that the leaders have refused to provide those basic amenities. And are they not politicians? They are politicians. So, and the youth continue, to be under siege because they have no voice. But I thank God, you see, maybe sometimes, some decades of years back, the country, I would say we've been traumatized by, some kind of autocratic, way of governance. Then maybe that trauma really played a key role to people can't talk. That there was, at some point, we are gagged, you gag people's right, people can't talk. But as democracy continues to grow, people begin to know their right and they speak out. But that's not enough reason to say we have gotten, to where we want to get to. The leaders have dispassionately continued to refuse to render service to people.
But some people will say that, if you're still referring to politics, in that regard, some people will say that what they've done right now, the fact that there are these agitations, not too young to run.
To run, yes.
And we now see that both in the Senate and in the House, and this ongoing constitutional amendment,
yes,
they are both looking favorably upon it. What are your thoughts in that regard? Would you still say that they're like parents who don't want their children to do well?
No, at the moment, this is, of course, a milestone achievement that the young people will begin now, to air their voice, to speak out. And I will also, call on the Nigerian youth to wake up now, to embrace this opportunity that has come, to their door, to begin to indicate interest, participate in politics and governance, but although they need to get prepared, actually, because, like they said, opportunity, meets preparation. And I am sure, I'm very, very convinced that we have young people that are really prepared to take this, responsibility of leadership, if given the opportunity. But like I said over years, it's because people have not been given the opportunity. You make a move, anytime you make a move, it's either they suppress you, or they don't even give you access to making that move. Look, I give you myself as a typical example. I would say I'm a humanitarian. Yeah, now why I say so, I have a football academy, for example, and it started by NGO, where it's called NIMPED, Nigerian Youth Movement for Peace, Empowerment and Transformation. And it's under that NGO that the academy happens to be a subsidiary of the NGO. And I strongly do believe in empowering the grassroots, the youth. And that's why I went ahead to form that academy. And I can tell you so many people that have become celebrities through that academy today now. And it's not an academy that I've monetized, the process. We don't collect, remunerations, to, engage some of these young people. We just want to create a platform for them to showcase their talent, and by the grace of God becomes, productive in the society. What I'm trying to say is, you build yourself towards that. And the youth are ever ready to deliver if they are given opportunity. So, and I've tried so many times to see how I can meet some people, maybe captains of industries, people who have well-meaning Nigerian, that I think that I could have run to solicit for assistance. Most times you go, they turn you back. So it's a challenge in this country that we don't have passionate leaders that are sincerely really ready to render service to the people. Most times what we see, people have just decided, we entrust them with this trust of leadership. At the end, what it turned out to be is they just, enrich themselves.
I recall once, we interviewed the former Caesar of the Kenyan anti-corruption body, and we asked him about whether there was hope, because we young people seem to be very tired of the corruption, and, we complain a lot about a lot of things. We want things to go well. And we asked him if young people were the hope, and he said he's sorry, but, he doesn't see any hope from the young people. That from what he's saying, it seems that they have studied even, they've studied to perfect the art of what it is that they've seen. So much so that if indeed power does go to young people, the chances are high that they're only going to be perfecting what it is that they have already met in government.
Is it the man from Kenya?
Yes, you remember him.
I think it is, no, we can't compare the Kenya and the Nigerian scenario. It's uncomparable. I don't think we should be comparing as a Kenya. How many population are there for him to come and make such kind of submissions in Nigeria? We have, look.
Well, our problems are very common. I mean, the problems that Kenyans face is the same problems in a large, to a large extent.
Honestly, I disagree.